something, please.
Am not seeing you pop up yet, so
I am on the stream starting soon screen.
I'm waiting for it to populate into. I do not see anything on Twitch yet, but it says that you're live.
What about on YouTube?
All right, you're live on Facebook.
Hey, cool. All right. So, like, it's just showing the picture that we're familiar with. It's not showing any weird background or anything.
Nope, just what we're supposed to be.
All right.
Uh,
My voice is going. I've been talking too much today.
yeah, Twitch says that you're live, but I don't see anything. It says that you're offline.
What?
Nope, never mind. I just had to reload.
Okay, so it's working now.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, just give us a minute. We're trying to make sure that we're properly streaming on all these different services. Daddy's got a new toy. He had to take it out and spin the wheels a couple of times. Okay.
We are in the correct window on YouTube as well.
Oh, sweet. All right. So, just for so those of you at home can play along. My name is Eric Johnson. I know it's a common name. That's why I also go by Edic Padraig, which is my Irish Gaelic name. I am Irish, so I can do that. And with me is my friend Chris Zeke. Chris, why don't you give everybody a little hello?
Hello, I am a Navy veteran, and I have been playing RPGs and tabletop since the 90s, and I intend to continue to do so. And I am here to help out with all this fun stuff today.
Yeah, see, I didn't even get to talk about who I am, which that just goes to show you a few things. I'm assuming that people know who I am. And so my name, like I said, is Eric Johnson, also known as Eric Padraig. I can't help but say it with the accent. I'm sorry, or say it without, or say it with the accent. Yeah, that's what I meant. It's getting late here. Um, but anyway, so hey, we've got another viewer. I don't know who it is yet, but it'll be fun to see if they chat with us a little bit. Um, but welcome, viewer. So thank you very much for that. Um, ah, Darby, the dog, is getting under all the cords and cables that is like right at my feet. He knows that I'm doing something important. Darby,
Never
come.
fails. Never fails. I think you've got two people in YouTube, but
Oh, sweet. I
according
thought
to what
I
I'm
thought
seeing,
you were one of them.
I probably am. But apparently, there's one more. So
Oh, like I said, welcome, viewer. I promise there will actually be something to see a little bit later. But right now, we're just getting through the introductions. I just did a failed effort on BackerKit for a role playing game that just didn't get enough marketing, didn't get enough advertisement. That's the only reason it failed. A lot of people were liking what I was putting down and showing off and whatnot. And you can still go and check that out on BackerKit because they don't delete stuff like that. It's called the Aether Blood Chronicles. That was me. Um, I was doing everything I could to promote the game, and it just did not go anywhere, unfortunately. So I've written other games. I have published other games. Um, you can still get Aether Blood as a PDF on Drive Through RPG. Um, and there's the link to the backer kit right there. Thank you, Chris.
got you covered.
and so you can still get that book if you want to. on now that link right there, Eighth of Blood Chronicles of the Orb. What are you showing off there?
The wrong one? I
Yeah,
might have.
I don't know what that is.
No, that's the.
That's the right one.
Yep.
Okay, well, whatever. It's working, and we got more viewers. So I guess it's time to like show off my limited streaming capability, and we'll go ahead and make this transition here. Yeah. So hey, I can stream now! Yay! Hi, I'm Eric. Like I said, I am a token cis white male nerd, as you can see from all my comic books over here, and some role playing games off to this side. Most of my role playing games are like on this wall right here, which is very sad for you because you don't get to see them. You do, however, get to see my microphone, which I'm now going to move out of the picture. All right, there we go. So, yeah. So tonight we're talking about The End, which is the title of my next role playing game that I am currently working on. In conjunction with The End, I am working on something called the Odyssey Engine. So I can't explain one without the other. So we're going to start with the Odyssey Engine because that's where things started. Okay. The Odyssey Engine is my attempt at one rule system to rule them all. For solo play, for tabletop play, even for LARPing. Unique tools to go into your VTTs if you use them. All four of these things are being taken into consideration for that. And what you see right here are some samplings of writings for, if I can minimize my screen, yes, some samplings of the writings for the outlines as they exist so far. So I've got like character creation outlined, advancement outlined. Um, the numbers are pretty low for those of you that have played Aether Blood or one of my other games. The numbers could get ugly, but not so much that it detracted from fun. The game's fun overrode the chunkiness, if you understand my meaning. And Chris here can actually talk to that.
I can chime in on that. It's while you did get some crazy numbers, it's not D&D simple, and it's not riffs. Oh my God, I'm looking at 1,200 plus points in something because reasons. Kind of very much simpler than riffs. A little bit more complicated than your standard D&D 5th, but once you get it, it was so easy.
Yeah.
And this new system looks like it's going to streamline everything from the old and make things a lot easier.
Yeah. One of the things that I'm really appreciative of is the fact that I came up with an idea to build your character and your backstory at the same time. So you can't not have a backstory anymore. Um, which I thought was actually really cool because I want to have more narrative focus in my game. I still had a lot of narrative control with Aether Blood, but I want to get more than just the mechanics because this has to work for LARPs as well. This has to work for solo emulation as well. So those are the types of things that I'm considering. I just noticed that I had it sitting up explaining the attributes and all that other kind of stuff here. So let's move on. Skills are messed up here. Let me fix this formatting very quickly. If I can find my cursor. Where's my cursor, please? There's my cursor. that right there. So yeah, um, 8 skills. There are 4 attributes. 8 skills covers absolutely everything that you can do with a system. So that's always been something that I've had an appeal for. Aether Blood only had 3 attributes, and then of course the 8 skills. The 8 skills are getting carried over directly. But yeah, so that's what we got there. And then I've got the degrees of difficulty set up into 15 tiers of very easy to understand degrees of difficulty. Like if it's complicated, then it's one of those things that in your own life you'd be like, oh gosh, this is just dragging things out. Typically, your difficulty is going to be a tier 2, meaning you have to hit a 10 or higher on a dice pool. The dice pool is however many dice is equal to your attribute. So let me just roll back up here to the attribute. Let's say we're talking about physique, all things physical. So if you have a 2 in physique, you're an average human. It means you're rolling 2 dice. What dice are you rolling? Depends on the skill that you're doing. So if you're doing something in combat, this character has a D12, you're rolling 2d12. Meaning you are very proficient in combat for a human being. And I'll delineate what all these levels mean in the game book. I will, but there's just not written up yet. I only have had time for so much work. I wish you could tell me just to stop scrolling. I'm just scrolling until I find something, interesting that I need to actually blank page. Okay, so actually, no, I don't need this list first. What I need first, the book's a little bit out of order because it's not really a book, it's just a formation of ideas. So,
Work in progress.
it definitely is. You start with a conceptual foci. This is basically your character concept. Okay? Once you have that, and the concepts can range average Joe, retired, house parent, explorer, we're getting to something a little bit more fun, a musician, the fighter, the farmer, again, backstep, but wordsmith, protector, okay, now you're starting to see some things, the godborn. So the idea is the Odyssey Engine is not it's not prejudice against system, because the system is describing a world, the world of the end, in which the end is all of realities blending into each other for one spectacular moment when everything will implode. So therefore, you get these little instances of realms crossing over, which explains why sometimes people find werewolves in our reality because they exist in reality somewhere else and have been shunted over to our reality for a little bit, or vampires or UFOs or whatever. So that's kind of like the idea behind the game itself. The Odyssey engine doesn't care what setting you're actually in. It's still going to create these mythological experiences simply based on rolling of the dice, just like it should be with anything with a role-playing game. So some of this you're seeing you might not understand, like regions and realms. That's referring to where they're specifically found. Regions are areas within a realm. Realms, there are several realms in which it's drawing mythology from specifically. And the seeming is your origin of that sort of creature that you're trying to play. You have Daedric, which are of dragons, Phaedric, which are of the Fae, and Anconic, which means you're created by a divine power. and see the list goes on and on and on and on. Some of them have not been completely fleshed out yet, but most of these here at the beginning have. So the whole thing about the um, the conceptual foci is they focus in on the bonuses for your attributes and your attribute traits, and then they give you some background information. Then they offer you your trappings, which are your basic equipment that you can't live without, being that type of entity. Typical foci refers to the professional foci that defines your skills and your basic abilities. So that makes up everything right here you need to know about playing the Undying. There will, of course, be flavor text, which explains that the Undying are basically a type of undead. But without the flavor text, you can still basically get the idea if you indeed are a gamer. Christopher, give me some feedback on some of the stuff we're seeing here.
Uh, you have not shown it, but the actual career foci are very, very well set up.
Oh, the
Um,
professional
for the
foci.
Yeah, for like the basics, the Godborn, the Undying, they are also lined out. You've got some that are only specific to certain settings, but you have others that could be in any of the settings. For example, we had the further up, we have
Almost
the
there.
Specialist, the Protector, the Fighter. You can have that in any setting. The Explorer.
I would like to pull
Oh,
focus real quick.
yeah,
I hate to interrupt you on the core of the
yeah.
family, um, also known as parent power.
Yes,
It
that one
is
was.
freakishly good. Um, because I'm just a little bit past that. I think I'm working on the Crucible of the Ninja right now, literally. But the core of the family was so much fun to write out because I thought of every instant in a movie or a TV show where a parent was put into a situation they had to protect the family. And I took all those tropes and I wrapped it into one enchilada. And that's what you get. And I enjoyed the heck out of that. So please continue, Chris. I am so sorry I ever cut you
Hav-
off.
Having read that one, I will specifically say the power of the dad joke is amazing.
No.
But yeah, you pick your basics for your character. You've got the retired, and he happens to be undying because he retired a very, very long time ago. You can stack these however you work, and that gives you the basis for your character that you want to build. Oh, you want a military person, you pick whatever backgrounds you want to go before it, be that a farmer or anything else, and then you pick, you know, the
the,
coordination of the pilot for the Air Force. You pick
well, the
the
discipline of the military for in
discipline of
general.
the military, and you can combine that with coordination of the pilot to get your really badass Air Force fighter pilot, or space fighter, or whatever your setting happens to have. You can tie in with the core of the family because he has a family, or attention. Let's see. The drive of the hero. You are the main character, literally,
Yeah. And
to quote certain YouTubers and stuff.
yeah.
Or throw it throw in the ethics of the working class because you're not the officer. You're the gunny, the sergeant, the grunt down at the other end of the spectrum.
Yeah. So,
And
uh,
pick what you want.
yeah, yeah. Essentially, this is a build your character as you want it type thing. So, like I showed you with the conceptual foci, and the names may change. This is just what they are right now. Um, I am going to scroll down here and show you, like, let me show you the core of the family. And I apologize. I know this text is scrolling by and scrolling by, but it's very hard for me to find my cursor the way this is set up, and I just found it. And of course, it had to go through a save moment. Good thing there's no such thing as internet vertigo. Um, yeah, so let's get past all these. All these are pretty much done, I think. Celestial, Undying, Koru, Aether. See, for those of you that are curious, the Aetherblood Chronicles did not succeed, but the story is continued right here because you can still play an Aether in this game. Um, I have an ongoing Aetherblood game in which I just told them today when these new rules are done, we're going to adapt their characters to the new rules and start playing this game, The End. Um, and kind of blew some minds. Chris, I think you were one of the ones that were like, oh my goodness. You and I
Yes.
think Carl. Um, Come on, wow! Did I really have this many, or is it just seeming like that? I mean, we're close to the end. The professional
You said
foci.
you were up till midnight doing a lot of things. So,
Yeah, professional foci. So we're just gonna scroll down a little bit until we get to the core of the family, which is the piece de resistance, as they say. Um, Come on, core of the family. I think we've got one more to go. Here we go. Core of the family. So, as you can see, whereas the conceptual foci gave you bonuses to your attributes and ability traits and stuff like that, this focuses in on your skills and special abilities and things like that. So you see, the core of the family gets a good outline of stuff that a good parent would normally have. They have endurance because you're used to running around with kids. Um, Kit bashing stuff until it works just that one more time until you can go out and get a replacement for it. General repair, driving, so on and so forth. It's the abilities that really make this shine. Um, and I want to draw your attention right here where it says tier 2 bonuses, bad parent jokes. Because, mom's going to have mom jokes, dad's going to have dad jokes. But it basically automatically grants you 3 successes to improve morale with anybody around you. Which I think is more credit than a dad joke should get, but still, I thought it was very funny to put in here. Um, and that parents are, of course, tougher than usual when it comes time to protect their families. So it's mirrored here when it talks about how many wounds they can take. That's on a scale of 1 to 10, I believe, making parents fairly tough. But each one of these is going to get like there's coordination of the pilot, and you can see how small the write up is. This is a complete write up except for the flavor text. Flavor text is all this needs. And I would probably flesh out the writing for the individual abilities a little bit, but see how it doesn't take up a lot of space. So a two page spread basically for each one I think would be suffice to go into the basics of the background of each one of these, to talk about the special abilities, the conceptual foci that go along best with these professional foci as they're being outlined, etc., etc. Whereas I might do 2 or 3 conceptual foci a page because there's really not much that goes into them. Chris, do you have any questions right now, or is this pretty much all stuff that you were familiar with? Or
makes a lot of sense, and I can see that as a section of the book where you open and you've got description on one side, what you get on the other, turn the page, there's the next one, there's the next one, there's the next one, you keep going.
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay. Well, um, so we've been on here, so it's about time for me to show you something else. This game is not just being written. I'm also going to be pulling from artwork from several games that I have tried to write in the past that just haven't gotten published yet. And so let me show you. This is a piece of work from the Chronicles of the Orb. This is the imperial flag of one of the settings that you can visit, and this is scrolling by way too fast. Um, Basically, these are pictures that I had made for various role playing games. They're just going to scroll through here for a little bit. There's not a lot here simply because I am broke, I am poor. I mean, I write games, I'm a game designer. So, of course, I fit type, if nothing else. Um, as I get more money, of course, I will have access to more art. There are people that have mentioned, yeah, this is the coming soon. That should have been first. Should have been the first image you saw. Um, but I have had a couple of people mention that I might have some interested artists somewhere down the line. So hopefully something will work out sooner rather than later. But yeah, so this is what I have so far, and I think we reached 5 viewers at one point. And I think we're down to just one more, besides Chris himself. So I guess I'll turn this over to Christopher for any questions he may have, and if whoever is watching, wherever you are watching, wants to give us a question, then I think Facebook is what's taking questions right now. That's where the stream chat is focused. I'm not sure. Or did you? No, wait, Chris. You put one quote on Twitch, one on Facebook, is what it looks like.
I put one on all three, so
Oh, okay. Okay, I only see the two.
YouTube has one. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
My question is, are you going to do this as an omnibus with a chapter or two, be they big chapters or not, for each of the settings? Or are you going to have the core rules, book for the setting, book for the setting, book for the setting?
I am going to do two books. And one of them is going to be massive, and that's going to be the role play game, The End. That is what this project is supposed to be about. But The End only came to being because I created the Odyssey Engine, where it creates games for the solo play, for the LARP play, for any type of play you want to allow it to. Here's my thing. I have so much setting material. Why am I looking away from the camera? I have so much setting material. I am probably going to rival this. This is a 5 pound book. This is nearly 1,000 pages long. Some people may remember this Kickstarter. I love this book dearly. I think it is a great product. But yes, this is 900 pages of goodness. Almost 1,000 pages. Or do I need to show it like that? This is the way I need to show it. Yeah. Okay. Regardless of how I need to show it, that's about all I need to show it. Excuse me while I get up close and personal. I will put that book away later because reasons. So anyway. So yeah, that's probably going to be the size of The End. Now, the Odyssey Engine will probably be like a third of that size. But that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at one massive book to rule them all for the role playing game. If people want more information, then I will make more books for it. but it is intended to be a one and done book. That's why it's going to be so big. Um, and then the Odyssey Engine will just be it's the way it works in maybe 300 pages. So that's the way I'm looking at setting this out. Did I answer your question?
Yes, you did.
Awesome. It's good to know because I could hear the crickets in the background. But
That's my
yeah.
chair squeaking. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was crickets. Oh goodness. So yeah. Well, if there are no other questions, we've been going for about 30 minutes. I think that's long enough for the first one here. But I plan on doing these streams for a while and getting into the habit of doing these. Um, I'll figure out something to post up here tomorrow night as well, and we'll just keep going until you guys can see the progression of how this game is being written. Any playtesting that happens when it starts to happen will be announced through these streams, and I might be giving away slots for playtesters. We shall see. Because typically, what I do when I write a new game is I run 2 or 3 game sessions for it. And when I mean 2 or 3 game sessions, I should not say sessions. 2 or 3 campaigns is what I mean. I roll it with this group, and then I roll it with another group, and then I roll it with a third group, and I just keep the stories a little bit different and see where everybody takes the stories, so that I have multiple people going through the same material, giving me different results. So it's easier to get stuff play tested that way. You know. So anyway, that's what that looks going to look like. Christopher, do you have anything else to bring us to the end here?
I will say that I've played several of those playtests, and they are great. I've done at least 2 for the Aetherblood Chronicles that were the same module, so to speak, and we did things that were unexpected and had never been done before, and it was fun. Turning a giant alien monster into an icky spot and other things. It was great.
Yeah. And you also playtested Chronicles of the Orb. I
Yes.
cannot forget that. Playing a Nekuron, which his art will pop up here on the screen here sooner or later. And of course, it's not going to now that I've said that. Um, but playing a Nekuron, who you were you a psychic priest or just a priest?
Just a priest.
Just a priest. Okay, I couldn't remember, but yeah, that was a lot of fun. And what was funny was there we go, the Necron on the far left of those images. Yeah. Um, but it was fun because today in Aetherblood, which we're still playing, today in the game, an Acheron showed up in Aetherblood. I was kind of introducing the themes of interconnectedness between all of my games again. Um, and so that went very well. But yeah. So I appreciate you coming out and hanging out the typical platforms: Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. I will try to remember to look more at the camera next time. I apologize for being so alienistic. But yes, thank you again for showing up. It's been my pleasure. Chris, I want to thank you for hanging out with me. And I want it mentioned that, Christopher, this could not have been done without you, because you've managed to figure out most of everything that's being shown on the stream so far. Very little of it was me playing around with stuff. Most of it was at Chris's, ooh, look what I can do now. So
I was quite good at finding the little tricks and
yeah,
stuff to make this appear correct.
yeah. So big props to Christopher. Again, thanks everybody who came out. We'll try to be a little bit more organized tomorrow night. Take care, happy gaming, and let's see where all this takes us.